Yeah. Good morning. I tell you, right? $50 million. I know it ain't.
It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. I am Philip Simon II.
And it is a pleasure to be in your company. Always interesting when Phil is Philip Simon II on a Monday.
That means I need to say hello to my father. It's like, hey, Pop, how you doing, man?
Listen, we hope that you had a wonderful weekend, and of course, we're looking forward to a great show. Any special things happen over the weekend, Phil?
Yeah, great weekend. I almost went to say TGIF. It was just a blur.
Yeah.
You know, I actually passed by the Junkanoo Arts and Music Festival. They had
Yes,
the
my
first one
saw
over the weekend
Angelique. Yeah,
at the
did a good
Botanical
job.
Gardens there. It's good. I mean, listen, they had obviously the Junkanoo pieces and the arts and the crafts, but the food, right? So
yeah,
I
that's
know
all
it's an
you-
arts and
uh-huh.
music festival, but the food was just, you know, I mean, it had like that pancake fritter thing, and and the wings, and then the various miscellaneous drinks. But it's just really great. It was just really great to see culture on display. I always get excited about culture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
of course, Jay had its national conference over the weekend. So shout out to Tammy, executive director, and the Jay staff, and of course the numerous advisors and the parents. I mean, they flew down from different islands. I mean, I got to really tip my hat to those supporters of Junior Achievement Bahamas, actually.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
so
Certainly
good weekend.
a phenomenal organization. Didn't make it out to the cultural festival. Husband's alma mater was having their fair, so we had to go to St. Anne's on Saturday, and that's just the way, that worked.
Oh, yeah, Blue Wave. Yeah.
And then got out to enjoy the beach yesterday, which was actually quite nice.
Yesterday was a great day, wasn't it?
It was the most beautiful day, and so yeah, got to
man.
enjoy some
You
of
on
that.
the boat?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
And it was really a beautiful weekend.
yeah.
And disappointed, of course, that Black Panther did not win Best Film. So I'm wearing my African print today, Wakanda Forever. Nevertheless, interesting Oscars as always. Some really good stuff. We've seen Regina King win her Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, and she's been in our community for some time making
long
movies.
time.
But it's good to
Yeah.
see her being recognized at that level.
Yeah,
And so
yeah, it's good stuff.
wonderful speeches coming out of that last night. People reminding you that if you have a dream, just stick with it no matter what happens. And certainly some wonderful words to start the week.
Yeah. Last week I neglected to wish Naja Niara Simon a happy birthday. Turned 18 last week. Growing up.
Belated happy birthday, Naja.
Yeah.
You're such an amazing young woman, and your dad always speaks so highly of you, so trusting that you will continue to grow into that amazing woman that you're becoming. This morning, we're sipping on Lois and Steen's, as you can see, brewed with love. This is a specialty coffee. This is called Sumatra.
Sumatra.
I just like the
Yeah,
sound of that.
yeah.
I'm going to taste it in just a second, but Phil, let us know what we're going to get into today.
We've got, as always, a great show for you. We're going to talk about another festival. It's the Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival. Charity's here to talk to us about that. She hasn't been on the show in a minute. So I'm glad to see her back here. Alive is here also to talk about its partnership with DHL Express. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to also hearing more about that. And of course, Beta, the Bahamas Engineering and Technology Advancement Program, is here to talk about their hackathon.
Yeah, man, that's a whole lot of stuff happening. And it's coming down to the end of February, so it's the end of Black History Month in the United States. And of course, we've been celebrating here by honoring historically black colleges and universities and those alumni in the Bahamas that have come from them. Yeah,
that's been fun.
So we're wrapping up that segment, and that's going to be happening this morning. Another wonderful, wonderful sorority sister and one of my brothers in studio today to talk about that. And in addition to that, we're going to be saying thank you to the Elevation Awards. They nominated us, Phil and I, and all of our production crew, our amazing leader, for one of the shows of the year at Bahamas at Sunrise. So very grateful for our nomination there.
Cool. No pressure.
And of course, those awards will take place on April 6th. So you can send us all your well wishes and prayers. We were nominated last year for an Icon Award. And wonderful to be nominated. Hopefully this time we'll take home a trophy. But we've got more to come for you. We can't do any of that without a first look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Godfrey, thank you for the weather this weekend, man. It was really nice. Thanks, buddy.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Star, and good morning, Bahamas. And your first look at weather at Sunrise. Lovely weekend, but the change will come. We have a cold front that's over central Florida. It's going to drag into the northwest Bahamas, Grand Bahama and Abaco later this morning and move near New Providence sometime tonight. It will move back tomorrow through Wednesday as a warm front, and that will increase our cloudiness, some showers, and even possible thunderstorms, particularly with the northwest Bahamas in the vicinity of Abaco, Grand Bahama, and Bimini. In your weather today, a mix of sun and clouds, becoming breezy by afternoon with a few showers ahead of that frontal boundary. Your high temperature is 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy and breezy with a few showers. Your low temperature going down to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. In your weather with the regional temperatures, you have Caribbean, Barbados is 79 and 74. In Jamaica, 81 and 66. In Trinidad, 85 and 73. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 83 and 71. Across North America, Atlanta, 58 and 36. In Raleigh, 53 and 38. In Miami, 81 and 70. Dallas, Texas, 61 and 39. And Toronto, Canada, 31 and 25. As we go through the week, increasing cloudiness with some showers and possible thunderstorms Tuesday and Wednesday, clearing the area sometime by early Thursday morning. Another great weekend in store weather-wise. Low temperature daytime will be in the low 80s at daytime and the upper 60s at nighttime. That puts her up in your first look at the weather at sunrise. I'm Garfield Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want First Response on your side, call 321-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First Response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Wait, that's Omar Little from The Wire. You think everyone is Omar from The Wire?
Wow, it's really nice to meet a fan.
It's like he's right here. Are you telling me he was being all type shows and stuff?
And you know, Rev Go Play plays a lot of good movies and TV shows.
Excuse me, can't you see we're watching something else? Rude.
Settle all your pop culture disputes with RevGo Play. Watch, record, and stream all your favorite shows wherever you are. Free for all Rev TV subscribers. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. The Ministry of Tourism is in the house. We're joined this morning by Charity Ambrister. It's been a long time since I've seen her personally. So good to see you, Charity. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. She is the Director of Events Management in the Ministry of Tourism, and we are talking the 15th edition of the Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival that's happening next weekend, March 7th through 9th in Exuma.
Yes.
All right, 15 years.
Picturesque.
Picturesque.
Georgetown Exuma.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, we're so excited about reaching 15th anniversary. And we're retooling the event, actually.
Okay.
In fact, we've moved to a new venue.
Mm-hmm.
Still in Georgetown, just adjacent to the old venue.
Okay.
As you know, it was held at Regatta Park.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're at the Regatta site, the enclosed area, as you go on to the docks. So it gives us more room. So we have so much more vendors this year.
Oh.
So it's going to be...
Are the vendors mostly from Exuma?
Exuma,
Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in fact, I think we've doubled the number of vendors.
Wow. Okay.
So persons can look forward to a variety of
Yeah.
Bahamian dishes. We are implementing storytelling in a very different way. Pat Ramming.
Oh, yeah. The storyteller
Yes,
himself.
Absolutely. Through his music,
Yeah.
will be joining us this year. And every year we have the kids come from the schools. And so on Friday when they come, he will just serenade and tell his stories.
Well, I'll tell you what, before you get through the actual weekend's schedule activities. I mean, we've been hearing a lot about festivals. At the beginning of the show, we talked about, the Junkanoo Arts and Music Festival occurred over the weekends. But any number of festivals occur throughout these family violence during the year.
Yes, absolutely.
Why are they so important?
Well, they're important for numerous reasons. It drives incremental business to the islands. It gives our visitors a reason to book now when they're searching the various islands or what to do. And if there's a special event, then if you're up there, then they would choose your island. It increases the visitor spend as well, which is very important. And overall, it's really domestic tourism at its best. And so, in addition to that, we're doing it for ourselves, the culture, keeping our culture alive, and then inviting our visitors to come and join us.
All right. So next week, March 7th through 9th are the dates.
Yes.
Of course, beginning on that Friday. You started to mention about...
Actually, on Thursday,
okay.
we have a gospel concert. And most of the entertainers for the gospel concert are local entertainers from the various churches. And so persons really look forward to that. And we have visiting artists, the Harmonious Praise out of Nassau, and Simeon Alton.
Okay.
And so those would be the visiting artists. And then on Friday and Saturday, we have Nita, Gino D, Veronica, Lady E, absolutely, and D-Mac. And Basil Smith, who is also from Exuma, what they call him, the sailor man. Yes. And then there's Warren Munnings. So Exuma itself has a number of really talented entertainers. And so they too will be showcased. We have the All Exuma Star Band, Tropical Breeze, and then the visiting band will be the Rhythm Band.
Oh my.
So, as we call it, Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival. It's not just a festival with some entertainment. It's all about the music.
I tell you, boy, we don't want to start an island war up in here, but Exuma is really, always one of those places you just have to be at.
Yes.
Of course, it takes a lot to pull off, events like this, and of course, a shout out not just to the Ministry of Tourism, but of course, you have a list of other people.
Absolutely, it takes months and months of planning, and then having to ship a number of things to the island as well. And so we couldn't really do it all on our own. So we'd like to thank our sponsors, RevGo, BAF, Cash and Go, Odyssey, Bahamas Air, Alive, Burns House, Hideaways at Palm Bay, Exuma Markets, Davos Lumber, Exuma Waste Management, Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, and we have numerous donors as well. So persons on the island who might not be in a position to sponsor, they want to be a part of the event. And so they will donate whatever they can.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Charity, listen, that sounds great. If you haven't made plans for next weekend, listen, it's been made for you. The 15th edition of the Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival, of course, it's brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and others.
Yes, absolutely. And for further information, persons can call the Exuma Tourist Office at 336-2430.
Okay, excellent. You've been listening to Charity Ambrista. She's the Director of Events Management. Of course, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. Throwing it over to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Phil. Well, it is always good to be Alive, and today I'm so excited because Alive has come up with another innovative initiative. This time they're partnering with DHL so that Alive customers can actually come into store and ship things through DHL. Never heard about anything like it before. Gonna get all the details for you now, and so I'm so happy to welcome to our set this morning Patrice Thompson. She's the Alive New Providence General Manager, and she's got Lakeisha Cooper with her. She's the DHL Express Country Manager. Both boss ladies this morning talking to me about two amazing organizations and how they're coming together to do something fun and exciting. Ladies, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
A pleasure to have you both with us and to learn more about this exciting partnership. This is something new. Never heard of it before, but excited to see where it takes us. And Ms. Thompson, I'm actually going to get started with you. Tell us about this innovative partnership between the two groups.
So, Star, we are very connected to our customers at Alive. We listen to what their needs are. We try to respond to everyday problems, everyday challenges, and make things convenient for our customers. DHL, the global leader in logistics, it was just a perfect partnership. So we're very, very excited about it.
Okay, okay. And Ms. Cooper, why is this a good fit for DHL?
Listen, this is an awesome fit. This is an awesome fit for us. Making our services more convenient and accessible for our customers is our top priority.
Okay.
And based on our lives, like you heard Patrice mention, our commitment to delivering top quality service to our customers. And of course, Alive's footprint makes the partnership ideal.
Right.
We, in terms of now, customers can now go into any Alive location and they can have access to our DHL Express Easy services.
Okay.
That allows you to not only send but receive packages
Really?
to more than 220 countries and territories across the globe. So you're not restricted. So it's about convenience, and that's what it is.
Okay, and I mean, in Alive, I think about New Providence alone, and certainly I see the beautiful buildings with the Alive designs on the outside, and you guys have certainly increased the number of Alive spaces all across the country. And this DHL service will then be available in each of these Alive stores, including Grand Bahama and the Family Islands as well?
Absolutely. We've made sure to include most of our stores. In New Providence, the DHL will not be available in our Harbor Bay locations, but will certainly be available across our islands where we have a retail presence.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, and this is exciting, I know, especially in the islands, when people are looking for sorts of services, to have these locations readily available. And then I heard you talk about kind of like this brand connection with both of you, kind of wanting to be excellent in service and have excellent innovation. This really seems like a really good fit. Ms. Cooper, talk to me more about the speed and efficiency of DHL throughout the world.
Well, the good thing at DHL, we keep pushing to go further and faster. You see, we're in 220 countries, right? So it's about definitely having that strong network to be able to deliver what customers expect. And so we at DHL Global, we're celebrating 50 plus years, right, in business, really facilitating international trade. So like Patrice mentioned, we consider ourselves the shipping or logistics specialists of the world. And so we take what we do seriously. All of our employees go through an exciting induction program where everything is drilled. It's about being customer-centric, being customer-focused, and about delivering that quality and level of service that our customers expect at an affordable price.
And Patrice, you guys kind of went through something similar recently at Alive, kind of re-emphasizing those core values for your staff, encouraging them to keep that kind of momentum up. When people expect or come into you for service, including regular service for their Alive cell phones or this new service, what is the type of service that they can expect to get from your employees?
Well, our employees are very, very committed to meeting the needs of our customers. Our customers are first. So any Alive store, you will be greeted the same way, you will get the same service. So the standards are across the board. Very much similar to DHL. We value our employees, and then our employees value our customers.
And earlier you were talking and you mentioned the fact that you guys are always thinking about new ideas that could meet customer needs. How can things be easier for people that utilize our cell phones? This particular service, how will it actually work? Is it that people will have to be an Alive customer in order to access the service, or will it be that people are signed up with DHL and they can just come in anyway? How does it actually work?
Any customer that come through the doors, whether it's on our network or not on our network, they can utilize the service.
That's so awesome.
Yes, so we want more people on, of course, joining the Alive network, and that's an opportunity for them to do so. So it's open for everyone.
All right. So long term for DHL, what are you hoping that this will lead to? You think that this will bring more customers into DHL by this connection with Alive, or what is the long term goal for you all?
So for us, it's about convenience, right? So we had a survey last year, a customer survey, and the feedback we got from our customers is that they needed convenience. So our customers spoke and we listened. So really, it's about really expanding the service and the DHL service and the touch points for our customers. So like for instance in Nassau, if you wanted to send or receive a package, you would have to go to our Thompson Boulevard location. But right now with the partnership with Alive, you can actually
so many
touch
access points, yeah.
DHL right around the corner.
Right.
So it's about, and we hear us keep speaking about it, it's about how can we provide solutions to our customers to make life not only simple, but easier for them.
This is a good partnership. I like it because I hear that from Alive all the time.
Yes.
Now, do we need to sign up for DHL? Should be is there any sort of formal process that's necessary to begin to use your services?
No, there's no formal process. You can just walk in. And let's say if you have a child that's going off to college and you need to send that transcript to a school, you can just pop into your nearest Alive location and just walk into the service point and sign up to send your package. There is no official sign up. You fill out an airway bill, and you're good to go.
Okay. All right, Patrice, any final words for us before we end this morning? I'm really excited about this new stuff happening with DHL and Alive.
Well, we are very, very excited. As you can hear, we have synergy between the companies. We are very excited about being able to offer this much needed service across all of our locations, most of our locations. So very, very excited.
Yeah. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us. It's just so exciting to see, especially as we're approaching International Women's Day, 2 women leaders in these 2 distinguished companies. And then 2, to know that you guys are continuously looking out for all of us by making services more convenient and easy. Really grateful that you came and shared this information this morning. So thanks to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, bringing you all the latest information. Y'all, Man Alive and DHL Unhooked Up. So be sure to check them out and find out how you can benefit from those services. We're going to be back with more after this commercial break.
WTO memberships will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
I always wanted to come back to the College of Bahamas. I wanted to be a faculty. When the opportunity came for me to be Vice President of Operations, I said, well, let me try that first. It makes me proud because I was here before. I feel as if now I'm sort of like a beacon for those students who are here to say, hey, listen, I can actually be a Vice President. I can actually be one of the big leaders at the university. I'm Ronnie Stevenson, and this is my UB.
Apply today at www.ub.edu.bs.
My name is Regilio Bethel. My position on board Equinox is mate, relief captain. I must say that during our travels and journeys throughout the Exuma Keys, we've had a few dark or dead spots. Basically, there was no service. They were just dark spots. We would basically be dead ship out in the cold without any communication. And it's been like that for years, and we've gotten used to it. But Alive has now provided us with a service which we can stay communicated during our entire voyages. And I've been waiting for Alive to bring their service up to more coverage throughout the Bahamas, which they've done in an amazing amount of time. So yeah, I would encourage them all to get that service. It's an awesome service, no interruptions, and it's awesome.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. I must say I've been having fun all month long, not just as we recognize Black History Month, but of course Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority have teamed up to bring us such distinguished alumni to talk about historically Black colleges within the United States. Today is no exception. We're very pleased to be joined this morning by Ashika Culmer. She's an educator at the mighty SAC.
Yes.
I must say so, St. Augustine's College, and of course, she's an adjunct professor at Southern College in New Providence. She's also a graduate of Lemoyne Owen College and a member of the AKA sorority. She's joined by Father Andrew Toppin. He's the chaplain of Iota Epsilon Lambda chapter. Of course, he's director of St. James Anglican Church, and also a graduate of St. Augustine's University. Of course, that's in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Nat. Nat?
Nat.
Nat.
Cooper.
You're downstairs. You're not on the show. But listen, man, hats off to you. We've certainly been enjoying every single second of these segments. Listen, good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Shika, I'm going to start with you because Lemoyne, I believe you would have said it would have been the fifth
Yes,
HBCU would have been established. But it was also established by a noted abolitionist. Can I speak a little bit about your university?
Well, Lemoyne, like I said, was the fifth one to be established. And it started with Lemoyne in 1871. And then Owen in 1947. And they merged after considering they needed to keep the school open and became Lemoyne Owen College. That's why the hyphen is so significant.
St. Augustine's College, I mean, you know, many Bahamians of note would have also attended St. Augustine's in North Carolina. You're a graduate, I don't want to say the year, but certainly a distinguished graduate from a couple of years ago. How did you end up at St. Aug?
Well, the story goes like this. I wanted to be a priest in the Anglican Church. But at the time, my father felt I was too young. That also was the settlement of my rector at that time, the late Archdeacon William Everett Thompson, as well as Archdeacon Ronald Barnaby. And my father had a godfather in the United States by the name of Father Bruce Williamson. And he caught wind of that, and he said to my father, you should apply to St. Augustine because, you know, I know the president very well, and I applied, and the rest is history, so to speak. Because he told my father that many, many priests in the United States who were black had gone to St. Augustine's College, and he felt as though that my going there would enable me to more or less nurture my vocation to the priesthood and become more better grounded. And I must say, that was the case. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, I mean, I would imagine you're not too far removed from your educational experiences at Lemoyne Owen. Again, I'll ask you the same question. You know, what played a major role or major factor in you deciding to attend that particular university?
Well, my sister attended Lemoyne Owen College. And going there, it being a small school, 900, it's more of a family-oriented college. You were more of a name than a number. You walked in the corner store, Briggs, he knew your name. The president knew you by name. If something happened, for example, my father died while I was in school. And the way they nurtured and took care of me after that situation, after that happened, I can truly tell you that Lemoyne is definitely a family-oriented school.
Definitely. You know, it's interesting, you know, Father, we talk about the relationship between religion and education. Of course, I guess this is a perfect example of that. But does that play an even greater role when we talk about the HBCUs?
Yes, it does, because many of them were established by various denominations, like St. Augustine's. It was established in 1867 by the Episcopal Church in order to educate, you know, freed black slaves, so to speak. And to this very day, the Episcopal Church still supports St. Augustine's College, University, and the chapel is still very there. I found it to be so useful and so impactful because coming from the Bahamas, I wanted to get to have that same Anglican feeling. And I found it right at St. Augustine's chapel, you know. And so on a Sunday morning, I was there. And then also, too, on a Wednesday, we had Vespers or Evensong. In fact, in my freshman year and sophomore year, it was more or less mandatory. You got credit. If you attended those ceremonies, so to speak, so I was there all the time present and accounted for, because you know, say I grew up on the altar at St. George's and at St. Agnes Church, and so I felt
right at
Right at
home.
home, right at home.
And there was such great support at the chapel, because when I arrived there that Sunday, you know, I saw some brilliant men sitting around the altar, and I said, I want to serve there. And I approached the head acolyte, and his name was Mr. Austin Cooper Jr. And the father was a priest, and he claimed to be him because his grandparents were born in Bahamas, but they migrated to Miami. And also, too, there was also Mr. Marlon Poitier Jr., his father also was a priest. And then also to another fellow there too, by the name of Donald Sylvester.
You ended up...
And his father was the Bishop of Belize.
Wow.
And his father, Bishop Anthony Sylvester, and Arthur Gomez were consecrated on the same day in Barbados on June 24th, 1970. You
got all the dates and all the
And he
names.
never
looked back.
allowed me to forget that. And plus, I found out too that many priests, Bahamian priests, allowed their children also to attend St. Augustine's University. Because when I was there, the late Memorial Barnaby, his children were there, Veronica and Andrew, Lake and John Clark. His daughter was there, Karen Pinder, you know, she was there. Also, Bishop Gilbert Thompson.
Well, I tell you what,
his daughter.
You certainly, you're remembering all of these things, and such a rich history at St. Augustine's College.
And also, too, I just went to, and also, too, in my junior year, a young man named Ian Macmillan, his father was the Bishop of Belize. He was there as well.
But I tell you what, Father, you're going to have to save some of that for come back on another time at Bahamas at Sunrise. But we can, just before we wrap up, I'm just going to give you the really quick word. Just really quickly, tell us in just a few words, why should those parents and students watching now consider HBSCs for their student? Just really quickly.
Consider HBCUs because it's a home away from home. It's family oriented. Like I said before, you're a name and not a number. And it has rich history, rich history. And college years are the best years of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I remember mine. Listen, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. It's certainly been a wonderful month just reflecting upon the significance and certainly such distinguished alumni of the HBCUs. We'll be right back.
WTO memberships will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
Ajax Cleanser, 14 ounce, now $1.39 at Solomon's.
Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson was born in Washington, D.C. in 1946. She is a distinguished scientist, prominently known for developing call waiting and caller ID technology. She received her Bachelor's of Science degree from Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1968. In 1973, Jackson advanced her studies at MIT and was the first African-American woman to earn a doctorate at the university. She was also the second African-American to earn a doctorate degree in physics. In 1976, Jackson was hired by AT&T Bell Laboratories. During her 15-year employment at the company, she conducted breakthrough research that enabled others to invent the portable fax, touch-tone telephone, solar cells, fiber optic cables, and the technology behind caller ID and caller waiting. Jackson was the first African American and the first woman to chair the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. She is currently the president of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. A Moment in Black History is brought to you by Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity and by the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority in conjunction with the Counselors Limited.
welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Of course, we're at the halfway point in this marvelous Monday show. We hope that you've been enjoying so far.
Always, always. Father Andrew is just getting started, y'all. Love the history, though. Love the history.
Yeah, man. It's really been a knowledgeable month, really learning about these institutions and then seeing the evidence, right, of those people.
And that's the thing, the evidence, man. You know, so much to learn, number one, and that's the distinction. I mean, you could always tell. You know, these fraternities and sororities, you know, hey, I never did it myself, but certainly you guys have made such a, you know, significant difference locally.
Yeah, thank you.
And internationally.
Thank you, I received that. And really, if you look at the histories of each of these organizations, they've contributed significantly in so many different ways, just to education, and not even education, but to healthcare, and the list goes on. So certainly, they have a lot to be proud of. The universities, they've come from a lot to be proud of. And looking forward to continuing on in the second half, because we're going to be meeting some other young people dealing with things like STEM, surrounding issues of getting more women on board, more young people engaged with it, and certainly it's the way of the future. So that's going to be a great conversation for you as well.
I don't know if you had a chance to listen to Charity, but you're going to Exuma. You know, they got the Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival.
You know
in
what
Exuma.
I think that the Ministry of Tourism should partner with us. Take us down to Exuma, and we should do some segments for them. So I'm very open to that. I think it sounds like a wonderful idea. Call my people, tell them, let's make it happen, because I'd be there, Phil. I would be.
Listen, I agree with you. Listen, we also have maternal churches, parent centers here to talk about, and of course we've got an update on the measles. Dr. DeLon Brennan should be joining us shortly on Bahamas at Sunrise.
So we've got all of that ahead for you and more, but we can't do any of that without a second look at weather. Here is the G-Man himself, Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Star. Good morning, Bahamas. Yes, second look at weather sunrise. A cool front over Central Florida is moving towards the southeast. Should move into the Grand Bahama, Abaco Bay area by late morning. Should stall just to the north of New Providence, and they'll move back sometime tomorrow as a warm front, and they'll create more showers and thunderstorms, particularly in northwest Bahamas on Tuesday and Wednesday. High pressure builds behind that, and of course some windy conditions starting this evening. In your marine forecast, winds starting up variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet on northwest Bahamas. But those winds will be coming north to northeast and increasing 15-20 knots, seas building 4 to 6 feet by afternoon. Or the central southeastern islands, those winds will be east to southeast at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. On Tuesday, those winds become northeast to east at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over all the islands. Then on Wednesday, those winds become southeast at 15-20 knots, seas 2 to 4 to 6 feet over the northwest Bahamas, but decreasing by afternoon 10 to 15 knots, those seas subsiding 2 to 4 feet. And east to southeast at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet, or the central and southeastern islands decreasing to 15 knots, seas subsiding 3 to 5 feet by evening. Yeah, tides. Currently have a low tide. That happened at 6:30 this morning. Next high tide will be at 26 minutes past midday. Low again this evening at 6:42. Sunset will be 6:08 this evening. Rises around 6:36. UV index 8. Your water temperature 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Any moon phase now moving towards the last quarter. External look, expect cloudy skies all Tuesday and Wednesday with some showers, even possible thunderstorms over the extreme northwest Bahamas, and windy. But by Thursday, expect a good weekend, becoming partly sunny through the weekend with some warmer temperatures. That was wrapping your final look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. The Maternal Treasures Parents Care Center offers education and resources for pregnant women, helping them to take the fear out of pregnancy. And as someone that was pregnant within the last 2 years, I can tell you that there's a lot of fear that goes into that. So I'm very happy that this center exists and that they're here this morning to share more with you. So call your mommy, call your auntie, call your girlfriend, call your daughters, call anyone that would benefit from this. Very happy to have Marilyn Smith here with us. She's a healthcare specialist at Maternal Treasures, and she's brought with her Haley Glass. She's a patient care technician at Maternal Treasures. Ladies, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
A pleasure to have you both with us. Such beautiful, warm smiles, and I'm sure that if this is the care we're getting when we come into the center, women can expect to receive love that is needed during such a time as this. So how did the center get started?
Well, this center got started, it began really in 2008 in my mind.
Okay.
A sermon was preached by the late Dr. Miles Monroe, and he spoke about purpose. He spoke about dying empty.
Right.
And as he spoke about it, Maternal Treasures was birthed.
Okay.
Okay, and from then, God has just been giving me different ideas of what to do. Everybody was born with a gift. And I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I'm doing midwifery. I love it. How can I use this gift to better my Bahamian people? And thus,
Maternal Care Center. Okay, Maternal Treasures was born. Now there's a list of services that you offer, and they range all over. What are some of the things that you guys do there?
Well, at Maternal Treasures, we do Lamaze or childbirth classes and breastfeeding classes.
Okay.
Okay, and women, pregnant women, we love you. Now is the time, you know, the Bible says, without knowledge, we perish. So now you have the information that you would need in order to not be afraid of being pregnant. Because I remember when I first was pregnant with my first baby, I was so afraid of what will happen.
Right.
But now, ladies, you have good teaching. We have discussions. We have lectures. And you can meet lifelong friends. You can find out about what pregnancy is, what goes on. And we want you really to go into labor with no fear. If no fear, at least the less fear that you would have now.
Excellent.
Okay, we want you to go there with confidence. So now we have evidence-based education, whereas you can actually come and you can actually sit down and participate in childbirth classes.
Okay. Now, Haley, I want you to tell me where you're located because this sounds really good. A friend of mine, her baby would be about 5 months now, and I remember her going around looking for Lamaze classes. I knew that one institution offered them, but it's so good to know that we have a variety of services now. So where are you located so people can find you?
We are located on Burnett Road and Grant Street.
Okay, so Burnett Road and Grant Street. Is there a telephone number where people can reach out and give you a call?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's that number?
364-3191.
Okay, and are you guys online? Can people keep up with you there?
We have a Facebook page, Maternal Treasure Parent Care Center. Or you can email us at maternaltreasure2018@gmail.com.
Okay, so y'all got all that information there. There's no excuses for you. You know where it is now, where you can go. And I'm excited because you guys also offer a daycare service on Saturdays.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay, and the date, you want to talk about the
Yeah,
daycare?
tell me, Haley.
The daycare is a character training program for kids 6 to 12 years old.
Okay.
From 9 to 5, or you can pay $5 an hour. That includes lunch. The activities we provide is learning memory verses, learning how to pray, read, write, and movies and other fun activities.
Okay, and I mean, child care is such a big deal, and I don't think, unless you're a mom and you're dealing with it, few people can understand what it means to want to put your child in a safe environment, especially if you have to work or do something else. And you've written a book, so I know that this is another part of your passion as well, not just the care of the mother, but the care of the child. So talk to me about the book that we have here.
Okay, I wrote a book, Kingdom Lifestyles, Kids on a Mission to Shine.
Okay.
Okay, it's a book for children ages 6 to 12 years old, and it was created for my passion. I believe in children learning character. Children are the next generation. So really, they should know what it is that makes this world a better place. It speaks on honesty, obedience, kindness. It speaks also about how important it is to share God's love. And it helps them to build a strong relationship with God, their creator.
Excellent. So listen, so many things, wonderful things happening for Maternal Treasures. You have all of these services for moms.
But I didn't really mention some of the other services.
Okay.
We do pregnancy testing, and we do pre-conceptual counseling.
Okay.
Lactation services we also do. And we do, if a woman has had a cesarean section, she can come and get her wound checked as well. We also do initial postnatal visit. After the mom would have had her baby, she and her baby can actually come and get checked out by the nurse midwife. And we also do grief support. Grief support services are free.
Okay.
And we do non-stress testing as well.
Okay.
This is a test where mothers can come, where doctors can send their patients and have a test done to know exactly how the baby's doing.
Excellent.
Okay.
Listen, so many wonderful services available at Maternal Treasures. We gave you all that contact information, so we hope that you'll reach out to them. Ladies, excited to know that our moms are in good hands with you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's
You're
a
watching
pleasure to
Bahamas
be
at
here.
Sunrise. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Gatorade, fruit punch, lemon lime, and orange. 64 ounce, $3.39 at Solomon's.
So who really own the Nassau Container Port?
Boss, that's easy. The government.
I do.
I do. Thank you.
I do.
I do. And one day, he will too. I do. Knock knock.
Here at the Nassau Container Port, we've diversified our ownership to give hardworking Bahamians a piece of the economic pie. And we'll continue to grow so that we can give you a consistent return on your investment. That's our promise.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Of course, if you want to go where data meets creativity, you certainly want to be a part of the Bahamas Engineering and Technology Advancement Program. They're having their first annual hackathon event. We're going to get a definition for that real shortly. But joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise is Deandra Wilson. She has a last name that she'll have to pronounce for you. And of course, Dorinda Davis of Life Key International School. She's the IT director. Yes. And of course, DeAndre is an engineer.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. I wasn't even going to try to put your last name, but what is it?
Ihijirika. DeAndre Wilson Ihijirika.
All right, great. See,
yes.
I saved you. Listen, we're talking engineering, of course, STEM, but in particular, you're having a hackathon. I mean, if you've been on the show before, for your summer programs, but this is the first time you're doing this particular event.
Yes, yes. So this is the first time we're having a hackathon, and you said, we need to define it for some people.
Oh, yeah.
So we say a hackathon means invention plus marathon. And essentially, it's about coming together over a certain period of time, a fixed period of time, to create something within that time frame. Okay. And usually you would use coding to create something. And so that's where the hack comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
but Beta, I mean, you guys have been around for...
We've been around for 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So we've done our summer camps and a similar kind of thing at our summer camps. We bring in different aspects of STEM for that. Right. But this one's going to be focused right on that technology and coding.
Bits and battles. I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So, a bit is a part of the, what the computer uses to communicate. So you have the 1, 0 bit. Yep. And then battles, because we're going to be actually having competition between the different schools and organizations that participate. So students can sign up with their school or with their club, and then they're actually going to compete against each other at the event.
So anybody, any school, any... Yeah. Is there an age category or...?
Grades 7 to 12.
Grade 7 to 12. Okay, great. STEM has been picking up steam, I think, recently, and of course at Life Key, you guys pay heavy focus on that. What do you like about this particular event?
Well, I like the fact that the event brings students together from all walks of life and all schools, and the fact that it allows us to help them to develop into the 21st century learners that we at Life with Key International School try to foster in our kids and try to develop in our kids. So I really like the fact that they're coming together. They'll be able to collaborate. They'll be able to communicate, share their ideas, and definitely develop their critical thinking skills. So STEM does that to us, and it's amazing that you mentioned STEAM, because we've added the arts into our STEM program, so it's now taking on steam and growing
you talk about the importance of this for the 21st century. Just elaborate a little bit more, because times change. I mean, you talk about technology. I mean, it's like every 6 months you're improving upon what have happened 6 months ago.
Definitely, and what we see is that we need to make sure that our students are prepared to go out. You know that Life with Key International School is a transient student body. So when we talk about getting them ready for the 21st century, we're talking about making them ready to go out into the world, to go back to their countries, and our students to be able to go out into the world and to be able to compete with students who have exposure to the ideas and to the challenges that this particular hackathon brings. So what we're doing is we're definitely trying to get them ready for that competitive life and to move on.
And it's changed. I mean, the world has changed. I mean, this is probably one of the reasons why Beta was created. But 5, 6 years ago, what was the thought process behind the establishment of this particular event?
So Beta was actually founded by Bahamian engineers and technologists, and for that exact same reason, a lot of us who founded it, we didn't really have that much of an exposure when we were in school. We kind of stumbled into the careers, but we realized just how important they are, how much they impact the society, both abroad and here in the Bahamas. So we wanted to make sure that the next generation had that exposure. They can feel informed, and they can, make the decision to pursue one of these careers, or at least integrate it into their preferred career. Because like you said, times are changing so fast, and technology, invention, all of those things are integrated so much into every single aspect of your life now. And even if you don't necessarily become a coder or an engineer, you still need to have an understanding of that, and you still need to be able to understand how you can create something and how you can integrate that into what you create.
It's interesting how far ones and zeros can go, right?
Yes, I know.
But give us a little more details on exactly the details of the event. Of course, is it open to the general public to kind of come and see what students are doing?
Yeah, so it's going to be taking place at the Life with Key International School, and it's going to be March 15th to 17th. So March 15th is a Friday, so obviously that day is going to be exclusive to the students, and that's the day when we're going to be teaching them different aspects of coding, problem solving, and just introducing them to those concepts. On the Saturday session, we're actually going to have local technology entrepreneurs and companies come in, speak to the students. We're going to have a showcase where some of those companies will bring in some of their hardware and software to show the students, this is how we're using technology right here in the Bahamas, and these are some of the examples of it. So that's what's going on the second day. And then on the third day, the students will actually be showcasing what they have created. And that's going to be the opportunity for parents or other members of the community to come in and see what the students created over the past 2 days.
All right, excellent. Of course, being hosted at Life with Key International School. What is that at the end of the day? Probably not just with the hackathon, but certainly when they exit the institution as it relates to STEM. What is it that you are hoping that your students leave with?
An excitement, an even greater excitement for technology and for coding and for programming. Not many people do it. It's a hidden art almost, and we're trying to take away that the fact that it's not reachable by a lot of people.
And
so
of course
we're
it opens the doors to so many different careers.
and we want people to come. We want people to come and be a part of it.
Okay, well, excellent. So March 15th through the 17th at the Life with Key International School. DeAndra Wilson, she's a Beta executive, and of course, Dorinda Davis, IT Director at Life with Key International School, talking about the upcoming Beta Hackathon event. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
If I can just
sure.
just put the website. If you want to get more information, it's wearebeta.co, so wearebeta.co. And so you can always get more information on there, and then you can also use that to contact us about it as well.
All right, definitely. Thank you very much. We will be right back.
Thank you.
WTO memberships will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
I always wanted to come back to the College of Bahamas. I wanted to be a faculty. When the opportunity came for me to be vice president of operations, I said, well, let me try that first. It makes me proud because I was here before. I feel as if now I'm sort of like a beacon for those students who are here to say, hey, listen, I can actually be a vice president. I can actually be one of the big leaders at the university. I'm Ronnie Stevenson, and this is my UB.
Apply today at www.ub.edu.bs.
My name is Regilio Bethel. My position on board Equinox is mate, relief captain. I must say that during our travels and journeys throughout the Exuma Keys, we've had a few dark or dead spots. Basically, there was no service. They were just dark spots. We would basically be dead ship out in the cold without any communication. And it's been like that for years, and we've gotten used to it. But Life has now provided us with a service which we can stay communicated during our entire voyages. And I've been waiting for Life to bring their service up to more coverage throughout the Bahamas, which they've done in an amazing amount of time. So yeah, I would encourage them all to get that service. It's an awesome service, no interruptions, and it's awesome.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Well, you might remember that we talked with Dr. Carlos Thomas recently about the measles outbreak happening in the United States. And then, lo and behold, there has been a reported case of measles here in the Bahamas. So we had to bring in someone that would be able to give us some more advice on this. And so we were happy to bring in Dr. Delnon Brennan. Of course, he's the acting chief medical officer at PMH. Dr. Brennan, welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise again.
Good morning, thank you.
Always happy to have you. A little more distressed that this is the circumstances under which you're coming, but it is only one case, so I don't want to blow it up and blow it out of proportion. But the Bahamas has been measles-free since 1997.
Correct.
It is 2019,
yes.
And we have a first case since then. Do we need to be concerned?
I think it's a reason to be concerned because when we have watched our trends in measles vaccination rates over the past 5 years, we've seen a steady decline in the number of children who are being vaccinated against measles. And a lot of that we feel as though is because of misinformation or myths out there related to vaccines. Mm-hmm. So it was only a matter of time with all of what's going on in the world with the outbreaks you mentioned in the United States. There's also outbreaks going on with Europe and in South America. So lots of countries around us who also send tourists our way are having issues with measles. So whether it was going to be an imported case or one of our own traveling somewhere and getting it because they weren't vaccinated, it was likely to happen.
Okay. So that kind of makes logical sense. And yet, as a parent, I'm very concerned about this, and I want to find out if there's anything that we can do to kind of see those rates turn around. How are we as a nation in particular combating the misinformation that is out there about vaccinations?
I think we've realized we were in a comfort zone for a long time in that most people just got their vaccines. We were able to find pockets of people who weren't vaccinated and make sure that they got them. And most of that was it was an issue of access. Mm-hmm. You know, their clinic had closed down or they forgot about it, mm-hmm. or they just weren't in a community that was big on doing it because they just didn't know. Mm-hmm. So once we would go in and educate them, it would take care of itself. Mm-hmm. But now we actually have people who are resistant to mm-hmm. vaccines. Mm-hmm. And for them, what they saw was everyone was okay. We weren't getting these vaccine preventable diseases in country, so everyone was just comfortable. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, now that we see things going on around us, we know that we can't do that anymore. Right. We have to we have an active vaccination campaign going on that includes not just doing the immunizations, but educating, going to public events. You know, we're going into communities, and at times where you don't necessarily even expect to see health, but we want to be there to let people know that this is real, it's in our face and in our country, and it's a threat to what we do every day. Because as you might imagine, if we were to, as a very small country who is tourist dependent, have a number of cases, especially with local transmission, we would suffer significantly because people would say, well, I'm just going to skip the Bahamas. I'm not going to go there on my vacation. I'm not going to visit because they have an outbreak of measles going on.
And you know, it's so important that you were able to connect those dots for us, Dr. Brennan, because I don't think that sometimes people see the bigger picture here, which is that everything has an impact on something else. And us who are very tourism and dependent on that dollar, we really have to consider those things even as we consider, which I think is so important, the health of our children. What does measles look like so that people can be aware in case they're seeing something and they're not sure of the way it's a parents and kids?
Sure, it is a constellation of symptoms. So of course the fever, runny nose, cough come along with lots of different types of illnesses to go along with it. But when you start to see some of these other symptoms, rash, because most people who have a cold don't also have a rash, the reddened eyes, so we refer to that as conjunctivitis. So you can have redness of your eyes, you can have the red skin, and some people actually get these white spots on the inside of their mouth as well. Those are referred to as Koplik spots. So it's a constellation of things. They may have what looks like a cold, but they have these other symptoms to go along with it. And at that time, we really suggest if you have any of those, if you have a cold and you have rash, if you have a cold and you have red eyes, you have a cold and you notice spots on the child's mouth or redness around the mouth, that they be seen by a provider to help differentiate what this might be. Because there are other things that can cause similar things, but you really need to get this one under control really quickly because people really need to be kept away from patients with that disease because it can spread quickly and it can cause really some harmful side effects.
Any final words you want to leave with us this morning on this very important issue? I wish I could stress how important it is for us to protect ourselves as a nation and for our kids who can't defend themselves. Really, you know, as parents, we make decisions that impact their lives forever or can take their lives. And so any final words you want to share with us?
I think most importantly, we know that there's been lots of misinformation out there related to vaccines. What I would implore parents who are either on the fence or partially resistant to getting their children vaccinated is realize, one, that you were protected. And so even if you were to be exposed today, you're protected for your lifetime, but your children aren't. And even for those few children that do contract the disease and do fine with it, what we forget sometimes is that there are other children who they may come into contact with or other adults who are either immunosuppressed or have some other medical issue where they do not do well when they get close to these diseases or they contract one of these diseases. So it really is not just about what happens in your own household. It is the exposures to our whole community and what the trickle-down effects can be as well. So get vaccinated.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brennan, for joining us this morning. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, reminding you to get vaccinated. Make sure your kids are vaccinated. We're going to be back with more after this commercial break.
One thing, two things. Blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right into the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
How are we making Rev work wonders for you? We are doing it together. You told us what you want, and we've heard you. Want faster broadband? How about speeds up to 1 gigabit per second? Want shorter house calls? 2 hours max. We promise. Want to take your entertainment anywhere? Well, your Rev Go Play app is here. Rev, we've heard you. You speak, we listen. Rev, you and us together.
much for tuning in today. We hope that you enjoyed the show, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here on Monday.
That's right. Have a wonderful week. If you're celebrating a birthday or any other special occasion, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.